and after that suicide attempt. On and on, such trauma by way of honoring the commitment to family that is necessary. Yet you are here. So please accept that we have expanded our family by way of all of us now as one family, supportive of one another, as Kalyana Mitra. Yes, the little socialize by way of who are you, what are you doing, what is your background, how are you here, is important. Yet it is there for an intention of purpose. Sharing, giving, loving. And at the same time, finding those inner places of solitude, so that those of you that are now engaged in your silence, when you will speak a word, it should come from that silence. And those that engage should not feel that you're rejecting them because you wear this badge that says silence. Everyone wants to wear that badge. But by way of the badge of courage to engage and yet remain in that inner stillness. This is the true test, and day after day there'll be some momentum to this way of mindfulness. And tests that will come again and again to your tolerance and patience. But you will succeed. You have Guru's grace. You are in the womb of Mother Divine here at our Swami Rama Sadhaka village, Grama. So we are beginning now to introduce the theme of Sangha by way of AHYMSIN, by way of the family. Yes, it's called association, for AHYMSIN. But it means family, it means village, it means community. So we will share something of the AHYMSIN sentiments that Swami Veda had left with us, for us, that we have been continuing to build, as you will feel throughout your time here. We're very privileged to have a message of our AHYMSIN president, Dr. Mohan Swami, who isn't able to be personally with us. He was on campus some time ago, and he will be back on campus in the month of June as he begins his pilgrimage to Tunganath and other places. He has asked for the permission to step down, so I've designated Mr. Shihong, the new president now for AHYMSIN. But by way of a message that Dr. Mohan has left for us, I felt it was very inspiring, and I would like all of you to hear it. And for this, I'm asking our General Secretary of AHYMSIN, who oversees all the details, leaving my mind free to speak words such as this, or simply meditate when she's busy, busy, busy. So I can only appreciate that she plays this role so skillfully and selflessly. She'll read the message of Dr. Mohan Swami, as well as add her own comments of introduction and whatever she may be inspired to say. So please come to the podium. Sadhana Mishra. Sadhana, thank you.
First of all, it is so overwhelming. I'm audible to all.
You're hiding your microphone.
Is it better now? Okay. Well, you said it's a magic thing, right? Better? So first of all, it's really overwhelming to see all of us present here. A legacy started by our founder, Gurudev Swami Bharati, and this happens to be our 6th Sangha Gathering. So thank you so much for making all the efforts to be physically present here, and to everybody who couldn't make it physically but are here with us in spirit. So pranam to each one of you present here. I am mandated to read out the message of our President, Dr. Mohan Swami. But before I do that, I'll just take maybe like 2 minutes to introduce Dr. Mohan Swami to all of you, because some of you might not have met him in person, or perhaps are not so much aware about him as a persona, as a personality. Dr. Mohan Swami is a clinical doctor, he is a physician, and he was instrumental in establishing and strengthening the healthcare in Malaysia. He has done multiple projects with World Health Organization, and he really, like a soldier, combated malaria as a disease in Malaysia. He was also recognized as the largest philanthropist by the Time magazine in Southeast Asia. Recognizing his effort and service to the country, the government of Malaysia awarded him with the 2nd highest civilian recognition award, which is Tan Sri Datuk. So his name is Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Mohan Swami. He also happens to be the Chancellor of Swami Rama Himalayan University, and he's a lifelong member of Presidential Board of HIHT. HIHT was set up by Swami Ram. He founded HIHT, and from that the tree has grown so big. So this was a brief, it's a big introduction, but this was just in a nutshell to introduce our President, Dr. Mohan Swami, to all of you. So now I will read out his message. My fellow brothers and sisters, Swamiji conceived and later initiated AHYMSIN between 2005 to 2007, though the seeds may have been sown much earlier. It was officially registered in April 2007 at SRSG. It was in the wee hours of the morning of September 1st, 1990, that I was blessed immensely when I prostrated in full, Ashtang Dandavat Pranam. That's when you prostrate in full, at the feet of Gurudev. And here Gurudev is Swami Ram. At the feet of Gurudev in the compound of Sadhana Mandir in a cold drizzle. The blank yet euphoric and intoxicated feeling of spiritual bliss lasted for weeks, till it was time for me to return to the harsh realities of the material world. Gurudev was in Singapore the following month, and I rushed to meet him there, followed him to Indonesia and Thailand. A week later, we returned to Sadhana Mandir, where he introduced me to Dr. Usharbudh Arya. The love and respect for him were instantaneous and lasts till this moment without any iota of diminution. Fast forward from 1991 through to 1996. On 13th November 1996, Gurudev attained Mahasamadhi. I interacted with Swami Bharati whenever we met or wrote to each other during that period. The interactions increased manifold after November. SVB was named by Gurudev in his will as the spiritual advisor to HIHT, the mission that spearheaded Gurudev's grand vision of service to humanity. SVB was also appointed the first chancellor of the Himalayan University, the precursor institution which transformed to become the Swami Rama Himalayan University. We met regularly at the ashram in Rishikesh or at HIHT in Swami Ram Nagar, or sometimes overseas, be it in Malaysia or Europe. SVB conceived the idea of ahimsa for the Americas in 1999, and he expanded this vision to AHYMSIN between 2005 to 2007, which was a natural byproduct of his years of writing, teaching, serving, and possibly the summum bonum of what he destined for himself to leave for his students worldwide. This was to be his contribution, his legacy for his Gurudev's mission, and Swami Rama Sadhaka Grama was born as a sequel, a reason for these initiatives. There were many challenges that he faced: the land, the construction of the buildings, government approvals, personnel, and large finances. He, however, rode the tiger without flinching, always stating what Gurudev similarly shared with me during the initial challenging days of commencing HIHT and the hospital, that the mother will provide. And she did. SVB had a gentle and humble predisposition. He was the gentlest of all the renunciate disciples of Gurudev I had come in contact with, and of course, the most intellectually renowned and advanced. He was so learned that many could not comprehend his works nor his writings. They felt that it was for spiritually high achievers, but they were wrong. SVB could at any moment interact with an infant or a toddler without any doubt. SVB had total respect and perfect love for Gurudev. This was clearly visible to all. In his own will, he wrote that none of his photographs should be exhibited, only that of his Guru. Another side of SVB that I could not understand was his love for eating sweet dishes, be it Indian or the durian cakes from Malaysia that he relished and requested for whenever I came to visit him. He sidestepped my chiding with, "The sugar is under control, don't worry." He would be the most gracious host, arranging for a sumptuous meal after our one-to-one meetings. I very much envied SVB for the various roles he assumed with such great ease. When he requested me to accept the position of president when AHYMSIN was to be launched and also to be in DMT, I was reluctant as I already had too much on my plate. SVB convinced me of the importance of his action. It was to enable the ties and relationship with Gurudev's greater mission to be fostered and secured. Brother Dave Hume did a marvelous job as the VP and shouldered the entire burden during the duration of his tenure. My heartfelt gratitude to him and to his equally dedicated wife, Sister Caroline Hume, and to all the executives and committee members of the many years. Brother Idris and AHYMSIN and DMT General Secretary Sadhna Mishra too were a great source of inspiration, along with many others. The list is so very long. My good friend Shihong, for whom SVB had much confidence and love, accepted the mantle of Deputy President after Dave Hume and similarly took it upon himself to cover the post of President. This provided me the flexibility of continuing to pay attention to the other duties and work that was given to me as instructed by Gurudev. I am indebted to Shihong, like I am to Dave Hume, for their understanding and for giving me the freedom of time. We have come a long way. The period between late 2019 and 2022 was that of uncertainty. SRSG faced a serious crunch due to the COVID pandemic, but many of the AHYMSIN members and centers, either individually or collectively, showed their kindness and compassion in more than many ways to ensure that the headquarters functioned without any interruption. Based on any nature of crisis that could arise again, my request to the incoming president and his team is to create a reasonably sized corpus fund that will ensure a sense of surety, guarantee, and financial security. This will enable AHYMSIN to position itself with a steady, long-term vision and enable its leadership to strategize and strengthen the organization and carefully prepare for succession planning. For all these to take place smoothly, DMT must take more ownership and work closely with AHYMSIN. Though the current relationship pattern may appear to be adequately structured, there must be a dotted line between the two, that is, DMT and AHYMSIN, to ensure a reasonable sense of inter alia and accountability. It is therefore vital that this bond must be intensified every which way. On a personal note, I had requested leave of absence from my positions in SRHUHIHT, AHYMSIN and DMT in November 2016 to embark on a more intense spiritual journey to the mountains as part of my sadhana and tapasya. I had discussed it with Swami Ritavan Bharati, and he was full of encouragement and support. SRB requires the full support of DMT and AHYMSIN to grow and further strengthen SRSG. Now back to the future. There was a disruption in my plans to be in solitude much longer in the mountains due to many factors and principally because of the pandemic between 2019 and last year. In late October last year, COVID finally got me in despite the Zyver booster in spite of the Pfizer boosters. For nearly 11 weeks until late January this year, it exacerbated my gluten allergy and played havoc on the frail body, including mimicking angina attacks, celiac disease, and lumbar sacral pain. Allopathy did not help much, but Ayurvedic medications did the trick, along with very generous portions of Gurudev's Kripa. There is no one rule for all, but for me perhaps there was an all for one rule. I am out of the woods now and sooner than later intend to pursue where I left off 4 years ago, to be in the Himalayas where my heart and soul belongs. So, my brothers and sisters, it is time to bid adieu. I thank each one of you and I thank all of you for what you are doing in any form or manner to keep the tradition ongoing. Even your daily meditation at the same time, in a disciplined and diligent way, or learning the Himalayan teachings as taught by Swami Ram wherever you are, is a sure way of expressing your love. Your love for the Guru should be immense and unconditional. Practice abhyas and vairagya. We have been instructed by our Master to surrender ourselves selflessly, to serve others, and to help others without expecting the fruits of the labor. Let us therefore surrender ourselves to the tradition and to the lineage and thank them for making us what we are in this life, and to pray to them to lead us in the path of light. May all of you stay blessed. Hari Om Tat Sat. Very profound, and something for each one of us to actually reflect and imbibe. So with that, thank you once again and welcome once again, Swamiji.
The entire letter will also be in our newsletters. So it's, as Sarana has said, so profound that I'm sure that much of it wasn't fully perceived, let's say. So to understand the life of this saint, really, truly, wouldn't you believe that a saintly person, as you would never recognize other than he passes you on the street. But what he has contributed, of which this letter just is a small, very small measure of all that. And most important, his immense, immense love for Gurudev. Some of you have read his book on his life journey by way of, after first being introduced to Gurudev. I would encourage those that haven't to read it. It's very inspiring. Also, Sadhana has brought up the relationship of the two governing entities, of which, as AHYMSIN members, we also are indebted to the DMT, Dhyana Mandiram Trust. And you can say a few words to the way in which the trust is holding the building as it is, a physical structure, fixed structure, for the purpose of AHYMSIN's mission, the mission through AHYMSIN of the work of Gurudev. So if you want to say anything else to that.
Okay, so just at the periphery, I would like to just say one or two things. Dhyan Mandiram Trust was initially founded by Swamiji way back in 2004. And then so there are a lot of legalities involved in it. Finally, it was also registered again in Delhi. The main purpose was to have a global family as members of the Dhyan Mandiram Trust. But due to legal requirements of the Indian government, we could not have foreign nationals as part of as trustees of the trust. So AHYMSIN was which took birth, and it was born. And the whole idea was AHYMSIN is the thought, is the philosophy, is what we would live for and live with. And Dhyan Mandiram Trust is just a conduit to facilitate AHYMSIN. So entire infrastructure that you see here, Dhyan Mandiram Trust is a custodian, let's put it that way, for AHYMSIN to carry forward the work of our founder Swami Veda Bharati. Nothing to worry about. The trustees are selected by Swami Ved. They are still there, functioning, dedicating themselves to make sure that the functioning, the mission of Swamiji does not get hampered in any which manner due to the legal issues or whatever is required by the law of land. But AHYMSIN is our spirit, and that we all must support and must continue doing that. Yes, Swamiji.
And by way of our new president, please congratulate Mr. Shihong as he comes to address you on AHYMSIN and the role that he will play. Please come forward.
we were about to make the final decision whether we were going to have a Sangha gathering on 2022 in February. There was a lot of pressure on us to make the decision. But at that time, the whole pandemic and travel restrictions situation were such that we were at one point considering whether we should have a virtual Sangha gathering by Zoom. I'm very happy and relieved we didn't take that route. Instead, we decided we won't postpone for 1 year in 2023 to have the physical Sangha gathering. And here we are. And I can assure you, it is so different. And for those of you who are watching this at home, sorry you cannot be here, but it's the next best thing you can do. You can always come back when your time and situation allows. As we all know, AHYMSIN was envisaged and founded by our beloved Swami Veda as a spiritual family. He emphasized this many times. It is a family, not an institution or an organization. So it is a spiritual family to learn, practice, and spread the teachings of the sages of the Himalayas, as interpreted by Gurudev Swami Rama. It is a lineage, a tradition, as Swami Veda summed up beautifully in his Guru prayer, Hiranyakabhadaraptam, Shesha Vyasadi Madhyamam, Swami Sri Rama Padantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So it started in Hiranyakabha, passed on to Patanjali, Vyasa, and the other masters, and down to Swami Rama. Therefore, we pay our respect to the Guru lineage, Guru Parampara. That explains the lineage that we're holding, I think very, very succinctly and beautifully. And what about the teachings of the sages of the Himalayas? For me, personally, I am very, very inspired by Swami Rama's writing in his book, Living with the Himalayan Masters, in which he said, freedom from fear is the first message from the sages. Let us sink in. Freedom from fears. We have a lot of those in the past 3 years. Fears. And we will continue to have them. So the first message is freedom from fears. And the second message from the Himalayan sages is to be aware of the reality within. The reality within. Guru, our mantras, the Lord. For the one who can realize the reality within, there shall be no fear at all. So that is, to me, a very, very powerful summary of the teachings that we are pursuing here. In the Buddhist tradition, we always pay our respect, our homage to three jewels, the three gems, the three most valuable things. Which three? The Buddha, the teacher. The Dharma, the teachings, and the Sangha, the community, the family. So here in Ahimsa, here in AHYMSIN, we have all three. We have the teachers, the gurus, we have the teachings, the messages from the sages, and we have us all, the community, the Sangha. We are the Sangha. You are the Sangha. I am Sangha. We are all members. So that is what AHYMSIN is all about. And I just very briefly share my thoughts with everyone today. Namaste. Thank you.
No doubt, the words are familiar, but contemplate them so that you can understand on a new level, a deeper level. In the same way, I'm inviting you to observe and contemplate AHYMSIN as a logo, but more so as a mandala that you enter through your mind to the various dimensions, like a yantra, like the Sri Yantra, that's also considered a mandala. Now this image has been drawn on the second floor next to the classroom upstairs in the hallway. So please spend time to look at it and let it reveal. Reveal by way of the figures, by way of what they represent, by way of your understanding of you to be that figure in that mandala, carrying the shika, the flame of divine light that is not only carried through the Brahmaranda, but is understood through the mind's intellect in the ajna, that is held in nurturance in the Vishuddha, that expands through the entire heart cave that opens through compassion and kindness, that radiates as the red flame in that source of pranas of the Manipura. So let these signify the theme of light that will reveal the enlightenment of yourself. for we'll be speaking about this journey of your sadhana of the self, your personality as you have identified through the self, that unconscious aspects of your mind in so many unique dimensions, to the self, the pure jiva, Atman, that you are. By way of the boundary, you might say, the shesha or the snake, also representing the kundalini force of that life force, also is an extension of the matrix of time, the entire understanding of cycles by way of an unfolding of this quality called time. And in that way, the snake will have its tail in its mouth because it completes a circuit. Because your life is completing a circuit. From the time that you have appeared to the time you will disappear, that is just one cycle of the circuit of your Jiva Atman over the many lifetimes of your journey. Along with the actual face that is represented, Swamiji was very keen on having it exact. And it took 2 years for an artist to actually give him what his mind had perceived as how he wanted that face identified. Which means it's all of your faces, composite, because it is all of you. And the face represents mostly the identity that one carries. So one looks to that image now to be themselves. And the two swans, the hamsas, those which glide on the river of the life force, the kundalini. That which is the Ida and the Pingula, bringing that circuit once again into harmony and unity, so that the lotus blooms. The lotus of the 1,000-petal lotus, the lotus of your heart, the lotus that is the beauty of self-realization, that, yes, is based in the mud of its nurturance, yet grows. And in your growth as sadhakas, you too are to realize your inner beauty. So this image of the AHYMSIN that has the Devanagari or the Sanskrit words, Yoga Samadhi, which you recognize to be Vyasa's understanding of the first of the Yoga Sutra verses. And in that way, our mission, our identity is simply yoga is samadhi. How we understand yoga, practice yoga, express yoga in our teachings is for the final healing that is samadhi. So please continue to take opportunities as you're going about campus to spend a little time contemplating the logo up in the hallway. Also, by way of yoga, identified by the yogi, our yogi, Swami Rama. We have the director of the Yoga College now established at the Swami Rama Himalayan University. It was the dream of Swami Rama from the very start, in which he actually started the process of the curriculum back in Glenview, then in Honesdale, and then carried that same content of this is what our future yoga teachers should embrace and share. So please stand up. I'd like to introduce the director of the Yoga College. What is his name again?
His name is Ajay. He's Ajay Dubey.
Ajay.
Ajay Dubey. His name is Ajay Dubey. He's heading the yoga school, Himalayan School of Yoga Sciences at Swami Rama Himalayan University. Ajay Dubey.
Thank you to be a special guest here today. And we look forward to continuing our relationship of supporting, giving them a nurturing place to learn, as well as what you do for the academics of the yoga science, providing BA, Master's, and PhD in yoga. And he himself is a PhD of yoga. So thank you. And to recognize the very special person that brought him today, Dr. Kathy. Please stand up. This is, as I have talked about Dr. Mohan Swami, Dr. Kathy is another one of those saintly figures that we've been blessed with in our lives. Early on, she dedicated her life to Swami Rama. She played an important role in the Honesdale ashram as Swami Rama developed the community and brought vision to his hospital. Eventually then she came right from US to organize the nursing programs, establish a nursing college, has been very, very beneficial in the entire medical college as well as now the university that has 165 degrees that they grant in various subjects. So it's a very large and very well-respected university now, established by Swami Rama. So Dr. Kathy, again, for everything you've done and continue to do, she too keeps an eye open on how is the teachings of Swami Rama continuing by way of the person themselves becoming the practitioner of what they teach, and what they teach to be an extension of what they practice. So she is the guard at the door, so to speak, that says, did you meditate today before you teach your class this morning? So thank you, Dr. Kathy. Also, I'd like to recognize Mr. and Mrs. Dixit. Please, Dr. Dixit, to stand up. They are our original, let us say, parents of Sadhaka Grama. From the very early stages, the two of them have come to oversee and establish their residence here at Sadhaka Grama since what year was it? At the 2002. The house was just built, and they were the first ones to move into just this brick house that nothing else was around other than that house, to which they then followed the conversion and the building of this entire campus. So thank you. A very prominent professor in his own right over the years, in many different countries, in the fields of philosophy, as well as how he taught here with our Gurukulam, helping Swami Veda establish the Gurukulam originally, and continues to be an excellent resource for us. So thank you, Dr. Dixit. And Mrs. Dixit oversaw all the decorations of the campus, as well as actually every flower from the beginning she has planted and nurtured. And that's why you don't pick the flowers, you simply accept them as a blessing through these efforts and growth of that nurturing lovingness that she gives everyone and all the greenery of the campus. Now, the rest of the day, you'll have the programs that are on your schedule. Please give prominence to the 3 o'clock session. You may say, oh, that's just kind of the details about the building and what has been done recently. No, it's really, it'll be presented by our ashram manager, Rabindra Sau. Rabindra is truly a wonderful personality and truly a disciple in the way that he manages himself as well as the entire campus by way of managing all operations of the campus. He also has taken on the Gurukulam, and so he's the established Acharya for our Gurukulam studies that have been reestablished here at Sadhaka Grama. He's also a traveling teacher, and next month he'll be in Japan for some seminars that he'll do there, and some of you are familiar with him by way of his Zoom sessions and have found those very helpful as well. So please, at 3 o'clock, do plan to attend that session. Then we will have our evening meditation. Now I will gather your groups together for meditations, let's say privately, by way of the group will be in the initiation hall upstairs, the initiation room, Swami Veda's initiation room. So you'll be receiving a designation of what day you'll have to sit together then in the initiation room upstairs. And one of the Swamis or the initiators will sit with you, or I will sit with you during that time in the afternoon. The others will sit here for their evening meditation. Then our final program of the day will be the 8 o'clock session. Tonight I've asked our Vanaprastha of the Sadhaka Grama Adhikari to be with me so that we bring to you the theme of love, serve, remember. And Adhikari no doubt will share some beautiful insights into that theme tonight. By way of other either introductions or other comments, anyone have other suggestions? Okay, I think that is an introduction, at least for this morning now, along with our prayers and Guru Puja. The theme of that inner light, as Dr. Mohan Swami has shared in his letter, that Mr. Shihong has shared in his address, that we'll continue to share each day at our 10 o'clock session. Meditate. That is the true test. And to emphasize that, I have a little segment of a most beautiful voice that you will recognize to give the essence again of our time together during the Sangha.
It was beautiful. Someone whom I had known from the age of 7 had never thought in those years of 1956, 57 that we would be meeting here. Such a touching equation for me. The whole history from that country where I was serving Guyana to this day here in Rishikesh. And then Hungarian song, hymn, sung to the tabla rhythms. It was beautiful. Someone whom I had known from the age of 7 had never thought in those years of 1956, 57 that we would be meeting here. Such a touching equation for me. The whole history from that country where I was serving Guyana to this day here in Rishikesh. And then Hungarian song, hymn, sung to the tabla rhythms in Rishikesh. What can be a better demonstration of a world culture? And here we are creating this world culture as Sukru so beautifully expressed. Those things make me blush. I'll share one secret with you. When I first moved to India, I said to my mind, this is too much. I can't take it. Such reverence. Every composition you have presented tonight, I surrender to my Guru. It's his. Long, long, long ago, 2-3 years after I first met him in 1969, 1970, 71, in a little yellow house in Minneapolis in USA, he said to me, "Teri sari ichhaएं पूरी करूँगा. I'll fulfill all your desires." I didn't even know what my desires were. मुझे ये भी नहीं पता था कि मेरे अंदर छिपी हुई इच्छाएं कौन सी हैं. And I missed in those days, in those countries, the flow of Ganga, the singing of Gita Govinda in Sanskrit. And today, by Guru's grace, and really by Guru's grace, and truly only by Guru's grace, all that is present here, Ganga is flowing. I can go and have the darshan of Mother Ganga any day I want. And Gita Govinda is sung, and my beloved disciple Jyoti and her students, how they are budding, coming up, gives us hope for the future that this song and dance tradition, this culture tradition will continue. And when they did the Prakriti Puja, offering worship and appreciation to nature, I cried. You may not understand the symbols of the hands and the face and the facial gestures, but my heart cried, overfilled. You have filled me with such love. But I have one desire yet unfulfilled. If you really wish to honor me, love me, do two things for me. This I say to my students. One, love each other. The whole campus here, they love Swamiji, but you don't love each other. तुम लोग एक दूसरे से प्यार नहीं करते हो. मेरा आत्मा दुखी होता है, इतना दुखी होता है अपने कमरे में बैठे हुए. स्वामी जी वो ऐसा कहता है, फलानी ऐसा कहती है, वो ऐसा करता है, वो ऐसा करती है. अगर मुझे प्यार देना है तो एक दूसरे को प्यार करो. If you want to love me, love each other. Secondly, make yourself adhikarin, that the knowledge coming down from thousands of years of tradition can be passed on and can continue, that there is someone here, somewhere, to whom I can give that knowledge. मेरी एक इच्छा पूरी कर दो. कोई आप में से ऐसा हो जिसको मैं वो सब अपना ज्ञान दे सकूं. Everything that you have given me tonight, I will keep it filled inside me, and I want to take this occasion also. I want to thank all those who have played a role in creating whatever I have been, the sacrifices that they have made, They are present here and they know who I am talking about. The sacrifices that they have made so that I could reach where I have reached, still short of my goal, I give them my appreciation. I thank you. मुझे प्यार करना है तो ध्यान में बैठो. If you want to love me, third condition, meditate. That is where our true relationship is. Silent love is the best love in the universe. And my master Swami Rama said, love is the Lord of all. And today you have shown that love. But I would be happy when you show that love to each other. That I want to see here. I thank you all. The depth of my heart, अपने हृदय की गहराइयों से मैं आप लोगों को धन्य कहता हूँ कि आप लोग इतना प्यार देने में समर्थ हो. ओम हरि ओम.
Now you know why you are here. Now you will see each other as brothers and sisters while you are here. And to share the cultures as one, to share your beauty as meditators in that silence and in that joy. And yes, I still say that to our residents here. You love the Swami, but you are not loving yourself. Yourselves by way of working together, sharing together, communicating. The perennial message is of that open-heartedness, unconditional love. And I do very much appreciate, as he has also echoed, that all that you have seen that has gone into this preparation is by their hard work. My love and gratitude to all the residents, my love and appreciation to each and every one of you. To our Swami community, who receive not my gratitude, but the gratitude of Guru Dev's Kripa by way of the opportunity to serve and fulfill their Dharma in this life. Thank you to Sadhana, thank you to Mr. Shihung, as we now bring our minds to that inner focus of the inner light. The Apo Dipo Bhava. Breathing out, thinking that mantra as the form of illumination for your mind, and inhaling with that illuminating mantra as you breathe. Let the mantra flow on this inner Ganges. That flow from navel to nostrils, nostrils to navel. Resting in the point along this fine line of illumination in your heart cave. The inner light of that diya on the altar of your heart. That infinite love of the very Jiva Atman is present always. Atmane Namaha. I am that Atman. Shivoham. That very presence that I am. Tattvamasi. That thou art. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.